Hello and welcome to KJ's Kitchen. I am KJ. I am 13 years a master fitness trainer, a fitness nutrition specialist, and most important to me, a happy mom serving up healthy meals from my kitchen to yours. Now, a lot of you who've been following have asked that I share my donut recipe with you. I've been posting them the last few weeks. I've been trying to perfect this recipe and I think I got it. Yes. So here's the thing about donuts. Well, we all love them, right? Just the word donut can make you salivate. My children love donuts. Here's the deal. Not only are they deep fried, therefore not the healthiest option, they're also loaded with gluten and sugar. So today I'm going to teach you a healthy donut, but don't go away, because sometimes when you go without the gluten and a whole lot less sugar, people think that it doesn't taste like a donut anymore. Well, I promise you, that's why it took a while to get you this recipe, because this is a bangin' healthy donut, and we're gonna be baking them, so we're gonna avoid the frying. Granted, if you wanna get... I think I froze because a phone call was coming in, and I'm recording on my phone. I'm back. You are gonna see, if you want to get creative and try to fry these, I don't suggest it. The texture alone of the batter, I don't think is going to give you what you're looking for. But let's get that oven heated up to 350. I'll set mine right now, get that started. Now, I have, with my excess batter, tossed these into little cupcake holders and such. Not necessarily what I would ever suggest for you. If you're gonna do this recipe, you're gonna look for some donut tray liners or whatever you call these. I grabbed these at Aldi's for $4.99 a pan. Cool, so for 10 bucks, I got myself healthy donuts at home all the time without the stress of having to run through a Dunkin' donut or a Krispy Kreme or whatever. So I have 2 pans going on. This recipe is gonna create a dozen donuts. Okay, these are chocolate. I will give you my modifications if you want to switch up that flavor. But let's start with dry ingredients. I'm using a Vitamix today. And I tried these with 0 grain whatsoever. They are gluten-free, but honestly, with texture, you really want to use your gluten-free rolled oats. I get mine at Trader Joe's. Love my Trader Joe's, right? So if you're using oats, not all oats are created equal. Not all of them really spend the time to make sure they're gluten-free. So it must say so on the label if you truly want to have gluten-free oats. So we're gonna go with a cup. Now, if you have oat flour already at home, rock and roll with yourself, just use a cup of that. But I'm gonna create oat flour really quickly here with all my dry ingredients. So 1 cup of rolled oats, gluten-free, and I'm gonna put all my dry ingredients in here while I grind up my oats to get that stirred without me having to do the work. Because what do we do here in KJ's Kitchen? We make it easy peasy for you. Other dry ingredients. Let's get our chocolate going on. These are chocolate donuts. How exciting, because that's my favorite flavor. We're gonna go with 4 tablespoons of chocolate cocoa. Now, you could do a dark cocoa if you like. I'm doing just standard, and we're going for 4. 1, 2, 3. You can see it's not like so direct. There's a slight bump on there. Nothing rounded, just a slight bump, because who's got the time to scrape? That's 4 tablespoons of cocoa. This is an Aldi's find here, just baked cocoa, or baking cocoa, not baked. It's not baked. Okay, now let's go for other dry ingredients. 1 teaspoon of both baking soda and baking powder. We're going for both here. Baking soda and baking powder. Get all those dry guys into one. And a half teaspoon of salt. I use pink Himalayan sea salt. If you've ever seen my cooking segment before, you'll know we are a pink Himalayan sea salt family. That's going to add in a whole lot more minerals than the standard table salt. Even more so than sea salt, because this is pink Himalayan sea salt. And now the last dry ingredient is protein, because we're boosting the protein in here 3 ways. Here we go with our gluten-free option. That's the great way we're doing the grain. But let's boost protein with whey protein. I have not tried these with a vegan protein. If you do, please report back. I'd love to hear. This is grass-fed, undenatured whey protein. My family, we use isogenics. Actually, if you've been following, I'm partnered with this company because I find it to be a superior product. Here we go. Half cup. I'm using vanilla, guys. I'm using vanilla intentionally. I've tried this out with chocolate protein powder, and I think the vanilla protein powder brings a new level of sweetness without adding the sugar, because vanilla has sweetness, chocolate is bitter. So that's why we put the cocoa powder on top of the vanilla powder. This is 24 grams of protein dropped in here. That's 2 extra grams of protein into each donut, just because we chose to use a powder here. That's all the dry goodies. Let me get my, whoa, where's my lid? Don't go anywhere. I gotta get the lid for this. We don't wanna blow off a stack. That's exactly what we need right here. Ready? We're gonna grind this up. Pardon the sound. Beautiful. Now this is the easy peasy part. So I just did all dry ingredients in here. I'm quickly just tossing it in a bowl. You could have done that longhand by grinding your oats first, then adding in all the rest and whisking, but who's got time for that? So I just dropped my dry into a bowl to separate, because now I'm going into wet. If you do any baking at home, you realize it's best when you do all dry as one, all wet as one, then combine it. It's almost like combining just 2 ingredients. But we're gonna start with the wet ingredients. Here we go again, adding extra protein. You're gonna use plain Greek yogurt. You could choose the 2%, which we really love in my home, or you could go the fat-free. What do we have here today? Siggi's. Siggi's is ultra awesome if you're not familiar. This is actually not called Greek yogurt, but it has the same thickness and high protein to sugar ratio that Greek yogurt does. And please, if you all know better, fix my pronunciation. It's skyr, S-K-Y-R, Icelandic skyr. That is the way they're creating it. It's really all about cream. It is thick, and even though this one is the 0% fat, that's because that's what was at the market. When I was looking for my grass-fed options, we really like to keep things clean in my house. We are doing 1 cup of Greek yogurt or skyr, and let me see, 25 grams of protein per 8 ounces. All right, so 25 more grams going in. We've already boosted each donut to 4.5 grams of protein. Pretty cool, right? I still have more protein coming for you. We're dropping in our yogurt. We got this bad boy. Okay, and we're not dropping in a whole ton of oil. Instead, not only to give this more moisture, but cutting out a lot of the oils, we're using organic applesauce. Just apples, no sugar added. Nothing in here, literally, ingredients. Organic apples. Make sure you read your labels. Unsweetened applesauce. We're gonna do 1/3 cup. I just had that guy out. Did they put him away? Anyone? Ooh. 1/3 cup. You can see how prepared I am today. All right, 1/3 cup. All I had was my little 1 cup measurement out. Here we go, dropping in 1/3 of a cup of applesauce. Non-sweetened, of course organic. Apples are on the Dirty Dozen list. They spray them from flower forward. So even inside the apple is full of pesticides if you don't go organic. You can't wash that stuff off or peel the skin away to create a cleaner apple. And now let's talk about the sugar. I've tried this recipe various ways. This is why I had to wait to share it. I needed it to be perfect. I've tried it with coconut palm sugar. I've tried it with no sugar and trying to put the sugar as an icing on top. I've tried it with monk fruit. I will tell you, maple syrup has given it the absolute best flavor, so you don't need to frost this donut. It is a mindful sugar still, being that it is not refined sugar. So we use good old pure. Do not use Aunt Jemima or anyone who, you know, is not pure. I was shopping with a girlfriend once and she put some Aunt Jemima or something in her cart. And I was like, do you give that to your children? She's like, yeah, it's syrup. I was like, that's not syrup. She's like, yes, it is. Look, it's syrup. What are you talking about? It's syrup. And I was like, read the ingredients. None of those ingredients are syrup. And she looked and there's like, you know, 60 ingredients and all it is like sugar and who knows the crap, corn syrup and blah, blah, blah. We're going 1/3 cup of maple syrup. Now, if you really need to have super glycemic friendly foods and you want to go for monk fruit, it didn't taste bad. So go for monk fruit. You might go for 1/3 cup of monk fruit sugar, monk fruit sweetener, if I may say so better. But to me, I would love it to taste like a real donut, and so I do prefer, and I've tried this many times, maple syrup's where it's at. Where's my little vanilla extract? Yes, we added vanilla protein, but the vanilla extract is definitely going to boost the flavors of the chocolate too. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon. We love the pure bourbon vanilla extract. This is not because it has bourbon in it. It's Trader Joe's find. It is because it's the region of bourbon that it's created. Last but not least, let's add more protein. We've got 12 more grams. That's 1 more gram. We're already up to 5.5 grams of protein per donut. Pretty cool? Yeah, I would say so. Here we go. Double egg, double drop. There we go. All liquid into one. Boop. Loving it. Drop my towel. Wipe off my hands. Okay, that's that. We've completed it. Where'd my lid go again? Boop. Well, I'm gonna give this a good long spin because I really want those eggs whipped up nicely. Okay, that was beaten up pretty well. And here we go. Let me just give you a little bit of an idea. 1 cup dry. So, 6, who can do math here? 60 divided by 12, 5 times 12 is 60. So 5 carbohydrates per 5.5 grams protein per donut. Can you rock with that? That is already glycemic friendly. I didn't include the carbs of this. Let's do another quickie. So now we're talking 10 carbohydrates. 10 carbohydrates per 5.5 grams protein per donut. Mind blowing! Woo! This is where it's at. Okay, now we're adding in our dry ingredients to the wet. And we're keeping it in this blender because I tell you, this is gonna make life easier for you. I may need this little spatula to scrape my sides when that time comes. And here we go, bringing it on. Let's get these guys. It's pulling it down. If you can see that on the, it's getting to fill up to chocolate. Yeah, just gonna push these puppies down with my little spatula. We want it all nice and mixed. I'm just mostly scraping sides and letting the blender do the rest here. Tap, tap, tap. Let's bring the speed up. voila, donuts in a blender. So this is why I love the Vitamix. Again, I've tried this various times. Sometimes the dough, when I was trying to use quinoa flour or various different things, got so sticky and weird. I, number one, couldn't get them into the pans without them turning into weird shaped blobs, and the donuts did not come out nearly as pretty. So this is extra liquidy. That's why I said I don't recommend you trying to fry these, but you can just literally swirl this around out of the pour spout. And I get mine pretty much to the very top of that center piece. They will raise because it does have the baking powder and baking soda, but not raise a ton as if you use yeast or something. And the shape of the pan is the beauty of this, because when you're baking them, they're perfectly shaped like a donut, whichever way you cut it. Now I said this is not ideal for like a cupcake or a muffin, and I think that's because the way the pan is shaped. So my mom and I were talking yesterday, because I told her I'm revealing my donut recipe. She said she saw, and she's going to be buying some silicone mini bundt cake silicone holders. I guess you'll drop those in your, cake pan or muffin tin, and they'll be shaped like a little mini bundt. I would say if you did the bottom half of a mini bundt, it would create the same exact way of cooking. So these are cooking better in this tray than in a muffin tin because of the heat being surrounding it fully. It's not trying to cook the center. It's not as long and hard. It's a different texture than cake, guys. This is where my husband and I, every time we taste tested to determine what needs corrected. Is it the sugar levels, texture? He said he loves this one, the one I'm sharing right now, because they're airy and not dense. It's not a dense cake shaped like a donut. Literally, they're airy and delicious. You're gonna be happy for a healthy donut. Here's how high I filled them. I don't wanna tip it because I don't want it to fall. But I filled them up. I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to fill my other tray. I won't have to put you through that. I'll fill them up, pop them in the oven. Keep an eye on them. I do recommend checking them around 15 minutes. They might go as long as 20 minutes. It's really dependent on your oven, whether you have the air circulating around it or the elevation you live in. So keep an eye on them. You'll know, just like any other cake, you drop that little toothpick in and it will come out clean. So I've usually said it's around the 20-minute mark, but I do always check around 15 minutes because I would never want to burn these puppies. Center rack. And I did not put any oil in the pan. Just so you know this, if it's a non-stick pan or silicone liners, you do not use oil. I tried oil once, totally changes the results. Don't do it. Follow this to the T and you're gonna end up with some pretty amazing donuts. I hope today served you. And if you know anyone who could benefit from this recipe, please tag them in the comments below or share it to your wall so all your friends can see. If you're not following me already, follow me here on Facebook. I'm here live every single Wednesday, 12 o'clock on Facebook, bringing you practical, healthy options from my kitchen to yours. I will be posting a link in the comments below when it is active and live. When that link is active and live, that will get you inbox all of my recipes from today and forward, and I'm trying to set it up that you'll be getting all of the recipes I've already done in the past. If you've already subscribed and you're already getting my recipes, do not subscribe again. There is no need. And I really appreciate you tuning in today, guys. And I hope that you enjoy these gluten-free, high-protein, delicious donuts. I know my kids do, and I don't feel bad if they reach for a second donut in a day. It is all good. Okay, and I will say one last thing. Don't go away yet. They are best consumed after you've baked them. Bake them, let them cool a bit. You can even serve them warm. That's when they're best served because they're not gonna sustain like a cookie or a piece of cake. You're not gonna wanna eat them tomorrow. So eat fresh. All right, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy. Have a beautiful Wellness Wednesday.